Hi guys, I'm Laura Vitale, and in this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I want to show you how to make the best chicken marsala ever. The sauce is thick, the mushrooms are bubbly, the chicken is tender, and it is truly the best you'll ever make, and it's so easy. I've tweaked the recipe a little bit from the original that I posted like 10 years ago. It was definitely time for a redo, and I promise you it will really be outstanding. Let's get started. I'm going to show you what you need right now, and the first change that I've made is I'm using chicken thighs instead of chicken breast. Now, I've taken a chicken thigh, boneless, skinless. I've sort of butterflied it open, trimmed off any excess fat, placed it on a chopping board with some plastic wrap on top, and I just pounded it so it was nice and thin. You want it to look a little something like this. I leave a little bit of the fat on, but you see how it's just like all one even thickness. That's what I want. I think this is so much better than using chicken breast because not only do you get obviously superior flavor, but you also get such better texture. It doesn't dry out, it doesn't get rubbery, nothing like that. So we love it. Into my skillet, I'm using a large nonstick skillet. I'm going to add a little butter and a little bit of olive oil because I'm going to sear my chicken in that. I'm going to go ahead and rinse my hand really quickly, wash my hands really quick because I just touched the raw chicken, and then we're going to season these babies with some salt and pepper. Some pepper, and then much to like the original version, we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna do this one at a time just because time, you know what I mean. I'm gonna go ahead and dredge these in some flour. This is gonna give you lovely texture, but it's also going to give you a really beautiful sauce because the flour will kind of help the sauce thicken, and it will help the chicken sort of like that sauce adhere to the chicken. See if it's ready. Yeah, that's beautiful. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna salt and pepper all of my chicken thighs, although you could use breast if you wanted to. I would just stay away from using the super thin cut of chicken breast because I'm telling you, they will dry out and turn into rubber really, really quickly. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do this process with all of my chicken, and then once it's golden brown, it doesn't have to cook all the way through. I'm going to remove them to a plate, and then we will get started on making the sauce. Okay, now remember they're not fully cooked through yet. I don't want them to be fully cooked through at this point. I'm just going to add a tiny bit more olive oil to my skillet. I took a medium-sized onion and I went ahead and sliced it. I like it sliced for this because what I want is for my sauce to have really gorgeous texture and got lots of good things running through it. And then for mushrooms, this is what they look like. I just go ahead and always clean my mushrooms by rubbing them with a damp cloth. Never run your mushrooms through water because mushrooms are like a sponge and they'll soak everything up. I'm using a mixture of cremini and button mushrooms for this. The cremini are going to give it a lot of really good depth of flavor, and they're a little bit richer in taste, but the button mushrooms also bulk everything up. I really love this with a mixture, a variety of wild mushrooms. You could use oyster mushrooms, shiitake, whatever your heart desires, but I live in the middle of nowhere and I can't always find those things, and I just can't I can't drive 45 minutes each way to get any. So I went ahead and added my mushrooms and my onions, a pinch of salt, and I'm just gonna go ahead and let everything cook together a good 10-ish minutes. I want this to really develop some color. I want everything to start cooking down. I sliced my garlic. I need to grab a wooden spoon, hence the flippity flop. And once it's there, I'll show you what it looks like. Mushrooms look great. I'm gonna add my garlic. I want the garlic to just cook for like 30 seconds because I don't want to burn it. But you see how the onions have caramelized, the mushrooms cooked down and developed some color. See that? That's all really good stuff. We love it. We love to see it. We know that that means that it's going to be rich and delicious in flavor. I'm going to crank the heat up a little bit because I turned it down for a couple of minutes. Okay, and then garlic's in. Now we need some Marsala. Marsala is just like a fortified wine, and it has a very distinctive flavor. It's sweet. It's fabulous. It's really good in biscotti too, if you've ever made. I'll share that recipe with you one day, but phenomenal in that. Okay, that's good enough. Gonna deglaze the pan with the Marsala and also obviously add lots of flavor. Beautiful. I want this to bubble away and kind of just cook down and reduce by half before we add our stock. That is perfect. It's reduced, but the mushrooms soaked up all of that beautiful flavor. Now we add a little beef stock. It's another change that I've made. We're not using chicken stock here. I'm using beef stock. It makes such a difference. It's so much better. It's so much richer in flavor, and I love it. We love that. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my seared chicken back in. You see where I'm going with this, where it's gonna be saucy and rich and phenomenal. I'm just gonna try and move these mushrooms out of the way to fit that last piece of chicken. I'm gonna rearrange everything in just a minute. Any of the chickeny juices that have collected at the bottom of your plate, don't forget those. They want to be in there too. And now I'm just going to bring this back up to a bubble, and it's just going to simmer for like 7-8 minutes, just long enough basically for the sauce to really thicken and become gorgeous. And then I'm going to go ahead and chop up some parsley in the meantime, and it will be phenomenal. Just taking my chicken out. It's been actually closer to 10 minutes. Now I added all of my stock. I ended up adding about 2 cups worth because I like my Marsala very saucy. As I stated earlier, I don't like it to be dry. I like it to be very saucy and delicious and thick and just gorgeous. I'll show you what I do. Not very pretty, but we are gonna clean her up. Don't you worry. So, sauce is bubbling away. Okay, then I take a little bit of butter. Oh, you know what I'm missing? Hold on. I'm missing my flour. I take a little bit of butter. It's kind of making a cold roux, right? Pretty much the same thing. You dip it in some flour. You add it into your bubbly, delicious sauce. And what this does is this really thickens up all those beautiful juices. And then you've got plenty to serve over some egg noodles, pasta of your choice, whatever your heart desires. A nice amount of freshly chopped parsley, a bit more pepper. I'm not gonna add any more salt because I added all the beef stock and it's pretty salty. And now I'm just gonna let this bubble away till it's really thick, and then we pour over the chicken, then we serve. Eat more peppercorns. And that is what I'm talking about. Look at that, thick and glossy and magnificent. Oh, look at this, okay? Look at that sauce. It is not play. It is not skimp on flavor. It does not skimp on mushrooms. I mean, if I was making this for more than 4 people, I would definitely up the mushrooms to about 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds because I used a whole full pound of mushrooms, and mushrooms cook down. I also don't like them cut too small because then you kind of lose the flavor and texture. But look at this. I mean, can you even stand it? You may not. You may not be able to stand it, but let's do a little. I like to top it with some fresh parsley, but like not even chopped up. I like it quite whole. Now for the most important part. I mean, look at that. I'm cutting this with a butter knife and it's literally just falling apart. It is literally falling apart because that's the beauty of chicken thighs. They're soft and tender. I'm going in here because you know what? I'm the boss around here. Boss of this kitchen. It's gonna be hot though, so I'm just gonna give myself a minute. Amazing. The ultimate. It's simple. It's easy. I don't like classics being done so differently you don't recognize them anymore. I like them to just sort of like make them shine and improve them a little bit so that they really come out on top. Do you know what I mean? Because chicken marsala, chicken, mushrooms, marsala sauce. That's what this is. It's simple. It's easy. It's absolutely delicious. The changes that we made were very subtle, but they were all the right ones. I will have the recipe listed for you on the website. It's a must make for this weekend. You're gonna love it, I promise. Like I said, recipes there. Hope you've enjoyed spending time with me. Have a great weekend if you do make this on the weekend or if you watch this on the weekend, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.